Tonight on CTV News. Protests on CSU's campus over the events at Missouri. Hear what President Tony Frank had to say on the issues occurring. Plus, we have footage of an apartment fire near campus that had students evacuating. See where it occurred.
And one group of students is connecting to the community through cultural diversity. See what they did to spread awareness of their culture. All this and more on CTV. Good evening, Rams, and welcome to tonight's episode of CTV. I'm Madison Sloan.
And I'm Cymes. Thanks for tuning in. Investigators are still working to determine the cause of an apartment fire near campus Monday morning. The fire broke out out of a bedroom window at the Prospect Plaza Apartments located at 250 West Prospect Road, just east of the Lake Street parking garage. It was contained in under 15 minutes, and 22 student residents were safely evacuated from the building. One third-floor unit suffered heavy fire damage. Total damages are estimated at $100,000.
A woman was stabbed earlier this afternoon outside the Larimer County Courthouse in Fort Collins. Medical crews and police were dispatched just before 1 p.m. to the courthouse where the woman was treated and transported to the Medical Center of the Rockies. The investigation is still ongoing, but one person has been detained. Keep checking thecollegian.com for updates.
The topic of racial equality in places of higher education can be a touchy one for all those involved. Racism on college campuses has been brought to the attention of mass media once again as a series of protests at the University of Missouri ultimately resulted in the resignation of the university president. Here at CSU, students added their voices to the discussion on equality in places of higher education.
Student voices, magnified by megaphones and a common message of racial equality, spoke to hundreds who had gathered at CSU as well as to students hundreds of miles away in a show of solidarity.
The end goal with that is just to hope that first of all, Mizzou knows that people are moving and that people are with them. The second part is to not only support them, but to honor their movement by not being voiceless, by voicing what's going on at Mizzou, by voicing what's going on in the country, by voicing what's going on at this campus and what has happened and what is still happening.
A green banner with the words, "CSU stands with Mizzou, Black Students Matter," was signed by CSU students with words of encouragement to be sent to the Missouri campus, along with a group photo from the signing.
Really to see all these people that came to this event in the cold, in the cloudy weather, and came not only to support you, but to let you know that on this campus there are allies, that there are people, and that you're not the only one trying to fight this battle.
The photo from the signing was posted on CSU's Facebook account, where it received mixed reactions, most of those centered on the slogan "Black Students Matter" and directed towards the need for any protesting at all.
It's not to say that Mexican lives, Asian lives, any other lives don't matter. It's to say that we have been mistreated. Some people choose to say that, that's just the way it is. You got to work with the system. And I completely am against that. The system needs to work better with us.
Student organizers of the event acted without collaboration from any on-campus groups, organizations, or departments.
We recommend a campus-wide curriculum change to require introduction to ethnic studies, introduction to women's studies to be taken by all students.
Student protesters called to have women's studies and ethnic studies courses mandatory for all students to take, a request that was heard by CSU President Dr. Tony Frank as he was present and listened with the protesters below.
There is so much more that needs to be done that we have failed to accomplish. So we need to be proud of the things we have accomplished, but we do not deserve to be satisfied.
With CTV News, I'm Cymes.
More photos are on Colorado State's Facebook page, and you can join the discussion on Twitter using the hashtag #InSolidarity
Governor John Hickenlooper says Colorado will continue to allow Syrian refugees in the wake of the Paris attacks this past weekend. In a statement, Hickenlooper said, quote, "We will work with the federal government and Homeland Security to ensure the national verification process for refugees is as stringent as possible," end quote. There are now 23 states whose governors are not allowing Syrian refugees. Colorado receives about 2,000 Syrian refugees every year, and it's unsure how many may more come due to the states closing their borders.
Electricity rates are expected to continue to raise for Fort Collins residents in 2016. Rates are expected to increase more than $3 a month for electric and wastewater service, and service charges for small commercial accounts are rising more than $13 a month. It's all stemming from a $3.9 million increase in wholesale electricity charged from the Platte River Power Authority. City water and stormwater utilities are not expected to increase in 2016.
This past weekend, the Indian Student Association held an event to help expand knowledge of their culture throughout Fort Collins. Indian Night, the annual event, was created to provide community connections through cultural diversity. For over a decade, the Indian Student Association at Colorado State University has been hosting an event called Indian Night. This past Saturday, the event was held at the Lincoln Center to help share the Indian culture with the community of Fort Collins. ISA President Venkatesh Kandir explains why Indian culture is so unique.
Indian culture is like it won't belongs only for Indians. It belongs for all the other nations too. We all mix up together and we used to do all these things.
The event offered a way to explore the culture through dance performances, food, fashion shows, and music. ASCSU funded the event to make sure anyone who wanted to go could go. CSU student Hessa Miller thinks this is important so people can see the culture more in depth.
It really brings like another side of culture to CSU because CSU is predominantly white. So it's good to like find these cultures and like show them off so people can get a better understanding of them.
Indian Night had a record turnout this year and welcomed performers that had strong cultural backgrounds as well as some with a modern twist. The ISA hosts the event every fall free and open to the public to invite the community to enjoy the cultural experiences and to make new connections throughout Fort Collins. The ISA is hoping to be able to hold more events like this in the future with the support of CSU and the rest of the community.
After the break, weather anchor Elizabeth Prossie has her full forecast.
And Double Trouble is back with a special guest. Stay tuned.